Hey guys! Hey guys, it's Tiff and welcome back to my channel. You already know what today's video is, so I do not need to tell you twice what is up. So today's video, a little bit of a different setup. We're sitting on my bed. I just wanted it to be chill, you know? We're just chilling. We're just relaxing with each other. Grab your favorite drink, whether it's water, coffee, matcha, tea, I don't know, but grab it and let's get on into my 5-star reads. So I started reading last August, so August of 2022, and this is how many 5-star reads I have read since then. I would say that's pretty good since last August. I don't know if it is, but I feel like it is. So we're gonna get on to all my 5-star reads. Let's get on into it. I'm very excited. Okay, so my first 5-star read is the first in the Harry Potter series, so Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. I have not finished reading this series, but I'm sure as I continue through it, I'm going to love every single one of them because I love Harry Potter, but I loved this book so much. Being someone who loves the movies and has seen the movies hundreds of times, reading it and seeing all of the differences and reading all the things that I missed out on in the movie was such a crazy experience, and I loved every single minute of it. This is actually the first book I read when I started reading. This is the book that got me into reading. I owe it all to this book. Every single book I have read since then, I seriously owe to the fact that this book got me hooked on reading. I love it so much. I just love Harry Potter. Okay, so my next 5-star read is Murdered at 17 by Christine Conrad. This was the second mystery thriller I have ever read. The first one, I hated it. Yeah, the first one I rated a 2.5 out of 5 stars. So I was very nervous to read this. I was just wondering if I just didn't like the whole mystery thriller type book, but I loved this. This is a YA mystery thriller. I'll read you guys the synopsis so you can kind of get an idea of what it's about. I have talked about this book a few times on my channel, but if you're new, I'm gonna read the synopsis for you. Pretty and popular 17-year-old Brooke Emerson is the envy of her classmates and even some of her closest friends. But while she seems to have it all, Brooke has never felt so lost. Ever since she sustained a head injury during a cheerleading stunt the previous year, she suffered from a disorder that causes her to fly into uncontrollable and sometimes violent rages. As hard as she tries to keep it together, she finds herself in danger of jeopardizing her seemingly perfect life. It isn't until Brooke meets Jake, a handsome and charismatic stranger, that she feels like she's finally found someone who not only understands her but accepts her for who she is. But as tempting as it is to get all swept up in the romance, she can't help but feel like something isn't right. However, when her best friend is brutally murdered, Brooke has no choice but to depend on him, especially because she is worried that she is the killer. The way that she showed her anger disorder and her flying into these uncontrollable rages where she starts screaming or breaking things and stuff like that, I feel like it was done beautifully, and I knew who the killer was pretty early on, but it felt like it was supposed to be that way because it's like you don't know what really happened and you don't know why it happened and you just don't know the full story, and so trying to unravel that, and then once it's finally like brought to light what really happened, who killed her, and all that kind of stuff, it's really done beautifully, and I loved this so much. Highly recommend. My next 5-star read is The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This is the first ever like historical fiction book I've ever read, and let me say, I absolutely loved this book so much. Reclusive Hollywood icon Evelyn Hugo is finally ready to tell the truth about her glamorous and scandalous life, but when she chooses unknown magazine reporter Monique Grant to write her story, no one is more astounded than Monique herself. Determined to use this opportunity to jumpstart her career, Monique listens in fascination. From making her way to Los Angeles in the 1950s to leaving show business in the 80s, and of course, the 7 husbands along the way, Evelyn unspools a tale of ruthless ambition, unexpected friendship, and great forbidden love. But as Evelyn's story nears its conclusion, it becomes clear that her life intersects with Monique's own in tragic and irreversible ways. So as you're reading this book, there is a section for each husband. So you go with her and you just follow her life through Hollywood and go through each husband in like order of when she married them. You really get to see her relationship with her husbands and all of her friendships and what she did to get to where she was in Hollywood and all of these different things, and it comes together in a beautiful story. But when you find out how her life intersects with Monique's, I'm telling you, I was sobbing. It was such a plot twist to me. Like, I had my guesses throughout the book of like what it was gonna be, but I was so wrong. I was so so wrong. The whole time I was so wrong. Okay, so the next one is a holiday book, and that is The Holiday Swap by Maggie Knox. Oh my god. This book was like a Hallmark Christmas movie in a book. It was the cutest, sweetest thing ever. Ignore my cat. If you're the type of person that loves the cutesy, cheesy romances, you will definitely love this. If you love Hallmark Christmas movies, you will definitely love this. When Chef Charlie Goodwin gets hit on the head on the LA set of her reality baking show, she loses her critical ability to taste and smell. Meanwhile, Charlie's identical twin Cass is frantically trying to hold her own life together back in their quaint mountain hometown while running the family's bakery and dealing with the breakup that just won't end. With only days until Christmas, a desperate Charlie and Cass do something they haven't done since they were kids: switch places. But when the rugged firefighter Jake Greenman and gorgeous physician assistant Miguel Rodriguez are thrown into the mix, will the twins' identity swap be a recipe for disaster or for getting their lives back on track? Okay, so one of the reviews on the back says it's like Gilmore Girls meets The Parent Trap meets Cake Wars. In other words, it's perfect, and that is like exactly that. Exactly that. It is so good. It is just the cutest story ever. There are things that happen that you're like very suspenseful, like, oh my gosh, like what's gonna happen, but it was so cute and I literally loved it so much. I could not recommend a holiday book more, honestly. I just really loved it. So my next 5-star read is also a holiday book, and that is There's Something About Mary by Cody Hall. This is a fat boy. When I read this, it was the biggest book I had read to that point, and so I was really nervous about it, but I truly loved this story so much. It has that single dad trope. It is just so cute, and I loved it so much. I'm also, like I said earlier, I'm a Hallmark Christmas movie nerd, so reading these two holiday books that gave me that type of vibe was like chef's kiss. Chef's kiss. Mary Winters is going to need a whole lot of Christmas cheer to make up for the disaster of a year she's had. Rather than sulk, she decides to funnel all her frustrations into preparing for the most wonderful and busiest time of year at the Winters Christmas Tree Farm. Although her family isn't ready to hand over the reins yet, Mary is determined to prove herself as manager material, and a certain flirty outdoorsman on her dating app has been giving her just the confidence to do so. What Mary doesn't know is that she's been chatting anonymously with the farmer's new foreman, Clark Griffin. The single dad has kept himself out of the dating pool ever since his son's mother left. But the more Mary dedicates herself to the farm, the more Clark falls for her generous heart and jolly spirit. As Clark and Mary catch feelings both online and off, their romantic potential dangles in front of their noses like mistletoe. Love is within their reach if only they are brave enough to take the first step. I'm like just remembering everything in this book, and it's just giving me warm and fuzzy feelings inside. I love this book. It was just so cute. Seeing their relationship blossom online and off, seeing her relationship with his son and his relationship with her family, and just everything like that is just a beautiful, it's done beautifully. I literally loved this. I could not word it any other way other than I truly believe this book was just done beautifully, and I honestly think I will definitely reread this next winter. My next 5-star read is Magnolia Parks by Jessa Hastings. Oh my god, guys. This book, holy crap, that is all I can say is holy crap. I bought this book because I saw a lot of people saying that it was like Gossip Girl in a book but in London, and I was very excited because I love Gossip Girl, but I was a little worried because I was like, there's no way it's actually like Gossip Girl. Like, there's no way it can really give off that same vibe, but oh my god, it does. The toxic relationships, the rich kids who think they can have everything, the partying, the drugs, the alcohol, all of that in this book. It's literally Gossip Girl in a book with different characters, and I loved reading it. If you're not the type of person to love the toxic relationships and stuff like that, I wouldn't recommend it to you because you probably won't like it. But if you are someone who loves that kind of stuff, like if you love Gossip Girl, you will love this book. It's about Magnolia and BJ. Their relationship is so toxic. They've been together ever since they were younger. Something bad happens, they break up, but they're not really fully broken up. Like, they're broken up, but they're not broken up. And if you've read the book, then you know what I'm saying. And once you find out what really happened that broke them up, oh my god, I was sobbing. I was sobbing. Literally, it was like a roller coaster, okay? A roller coaster of emotions, literally. And I just want to say, if you've read this or if you do end up reading this, me personally, Tom Holland. I do love Tom Holland too, but that's not who I'm talking about. Tom England. Oh my god. I love him. I love him. Okay, so my next two 5-star reads are actually a series. I don't know if it's gonna be a duology or if the author is gonna come out with another one. I really don't know, but that is The Worst Best Man and The Wedding Crasher by Mia Sosa. This was the first ever romance book I've ever read, so it holds a very, very special place in my heart. And immediately after I finished this, I picked this one up because I loved this one so much. And this one was even better. This is definitely my favorite of the two, but I'll talk about both of them. So first we'll talk about The Worst Best Man, enemies to lovers trope, which I love that trope. And like I said, first ever romance book I ever read. So this was such a good one to start with. I feel like it was just so good and I loved it so much. You are cordially invited to witness the worst best man get what he deserves. A wedding planner left at the altar? Yeah, the irony isn't lost on Carolina Santos either. But despite that embarrassing blip from her past, Lena's offered an opportunity that would change her life. There's just one hitch. She has to collaborate with the best, make that the worst man from her own failed nuptials. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Anyways, marketing expert Matt Hartley is determined to make his mark with a coveted hotel client looking to expand its brand. But when he learns he'll be working with his brother's whip-smart, stunning, absolutely off-limits ex-fiance, and she loathes him. If they can nail their presentation without killing each other, they'll both come out ahead. Except Max has been public enemy #1 ever since he encouraged his brother to jilt the bride, and Lena's ready to dish out a little payback of her own. Soon Lena and Max discover animosity may not be the only emotion creating sparks between them. Still, this star-crossed couple can never be more than temporary playmates because Lena isn't interested in falling in love, and Max refuses to play runner-up to his brother ever again. There is a little bit of spice in this, so if that's not your thing, be warned, there is some spice in this, but I loved it. I loved it. Oh my god, Max and Lena, they have got to be one of my favorite book couples. I literally love them so much. And moving on to The Wedding Crasher, again, this is my favorite of the two. I still think about this book literally every single day. Every single day. The way this book ended, oh my god, Mia Sosa, you f***ing did it with this. You f***ing did it with this because I was sobbing. This one follows Max's best friend Dean and Lena's cousin. I think it's Salone. I don't think it's Salone, but I think it's Salone. So we're gonna say Salone. Just weeks away from ditching DC for greener pastures, Salone is roped into helping her wedding planner cousin on a random couple's big day. It's an easy gig until Salone stumbles upon a situation that convinces her the pair isn't meant to be. What's a true blue romantic do? Crash the wedding, of course, and ensure that the unsuspecting groom doesn't make the biggest mistake of his life. Dean Chapman had his future all mapped out. He was about to check off start a family and was on track to make partner when his modern day marriage of convenience went up in smoke. Then he learns he might not land an assignment that could be his ticket into promotion unless he has a significant other, and in that moment of panic, Dean claims to be in love with the woman who crashed his wedding. Oops. Now Dean has a whole new idea on his to-do list. Begs Salone to be his pretend girlfriend. Salone feels a tiny bit bad about ruining Dean's wedding, so she agrees to play along. Yet, as they fake date their way around town, what started as a performance for Dean's colleague turns into a connection that neither he nor Salone can deny. Their entire romance is a sham. There's no way these polar opposites could fall in love for real. Right? When I tell you I think about this book every day, I'm not even lying. As you could tell, fake dating, which I think has got to be my favorite trope. Literally the emotions this book gives me, oh my god, I seriously just loved it so much. The ending of this book, I think, is my favorite ending of any book I've read. Like, I'm not even kidding. I genuinely think this is my favorite ending of any book I have ever read. It was done absolutely beautifully. I literally love this book so much. Okay, so my next 5-star read is Something from Tiffanys by Melissa Hill. This book is so good. This was my favorite book of 2022. New York City at Christmas time and a visit to Tiffanys is the perfect recipe to sweep a girl off her feet unless fate has other plans. Widower Ethan Green and his daughter Daisy share a fierce love for Christmas time in New York. Truly the most magical time of the year in the city that never sleeps. So what better way to invite Ethan's girlfriend Vanessa into their family than a trip to the city and an engagement ring from its most famous jeweler? But Ethan and Daisy aren't the only ones picking up a Tiffanys treat. Scrambling for ideas on Christmas Eve, Gary Knowles swoops into the jeweler for a quick gift with a big name appeal for his brilliant girlfriend Rachel. When When their worlds collide for one small moment, everything changes, and only time will tell if true love will prevail. Guys, this book, this was seriously like one of those fairy tales where every single thing has to go wrong in order for the right thing to happen. So it's just constantly problem after problem after problem after problem, and then all of a sudden they get it right, and it's just amazing. So cute. I literally love it. Literally Hallmark movie vibes. The cutest thing ever. Cheesy. Like, if you are like a hopeless romantic, this will be your book. Okay, and my last 5-star read. My favorite book I have ever read in my life. I read this recently, and this book did things to me that no other book has done, and that is Love in Other Words by Christina Lauren. Oh my god, I cannot explain to you how amazing this book is. I can't. I did a reading vlog of me reading this. It does have spoilers, so if you want to watch that, also link below. But yeah, this is my favorite book I've ever read. I would literally give this 100 out of 5 stars if I could. It's literally that good. Macy is settling into an ambitious, if emotionally tepid routine. Work hard as a new pediatrics resident, plan her wedding to an older, financially secure man, keep her head down and her heart tucked away. But when she runs into Elliot, the first and only love of her life, the careful bubble she's constructed begins to dissolve. I'm just getting all like giddy about reading this. Once upon a time, Elliot was Macy's entire world, growing into her gangly, bookish friend, into the man who coaxed her heart open up again, only to break it on the very night he declared his love for her. Y'all, this book had me laughing, smiling, blushing, sobbing. The next day after finishing reading this book, went to go edit the reading vlog, and I started sobbing while editing the reading vlog, just thinking about this book. Like, this book was just so good. It was just so good. Like, I could sit here for days and tell you how good this book is, but I'm gonna stop there because I don't want to keep saying the same thing over and over again. Okay, so these are all my 5-star reads. Hopefully I can do an updated version towards the end of the year with a ton more 5-star reads, but after reading this book, which is the most recent 5-star read I've read, after reading this, it is a lot harder to give a book 5 stars because this is just incredible. But anyways, that is all for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you're not already, because we have a lot of fun over here and we want you to join the fun. So subscribe, turn on post notifs, duh. But with that being said, I love you guys so much, and I will see you in the next one. Peace. It isn't until Jake meets Brooke. Jake meets Brooke? Nope, that's not right. They're romantic. Oh my god. Oh my god. Literally, enemies to lovers. Here you go. Read it right now. Rupatools. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Rupatools. That says nupatils. Nupatils? Nupatools? I don't know.